Like we do every single Friday, as part of course, our build-up to the Netball World Cup in Cape Town, we chat to one of the Proteas players, and this week is no different. We are joined by Proteas defender Jeanté Strydom. Good morning, Jeanté. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports and Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Jeanté, before we get into all the nitty-gritties around preparation for the Netball World Cup, let's talk about the final squad of 12 with the 3 reserves being announced this week, and you've obviously made the cut. But it must also be a bittersweet moment because for you, you get to participate in this World Cup on African soil, whereas 3 players who you've played with and you know so well, unfortunately for them, they haven't made that cut.
Yeah, it's obviously mixed feelings because some of us, we are extremely happy for ourselves and the rest of the 12 that made it. But then there is that 3 that didn't make it. And we know, because we train together, we know how hard they worked as well. So it makes it sad. And yeah, it's a bittersweet situation. But at least they are going with us to the World Cup. They're with us, we're training, we're preparing. So they're still with us all the way, and yeah, I don't want to say maybe they will get a chance because that means somebody will get injured, but when you join the sport, you know that can happen to you, and they're still 100% part of the team for us, so yes.
And for you specifically, firstly, talk us through the emotions when that first initial announcement is made for the 15, and then now when you get that final call to say you've made the final 12. Talk us through how that was for you.
For me, it was firstly, I was very proud and honored because it's huge. It's huge to represent your country on any stage, especially a World Cup. So yeah, first I was very honored, and then I was very emotional because for me it will be my first cap getting a game. So yeah, it will be my first cap. So I was very emotional, and it was very hard work going into this. So I felt it actually paid off. So yeah, and obviously I was very happy, excited as well. So it was mixed emotions, but the main emotion, it was honor and I was just very excited for actually hard work paying off.
Congratulations to you for your debut. Let's talk about, yes, it is your debut, but I mean, we've seen the work that you've done. You've had the opportunity to play in Australia. You've played in New Zealand. We look at the leagues in Australia and New Zealand, and they seem a bit more fast-paced compared to our local TNL. What would you say from a player perspective the major differences are for you between these leagues?
For Australia, it is a faster pace. But compared to New Zealand, it's also fast paced, but Australia will be a little bit faster. It's a different kind of play. So Australia is more, if you look at defense wise, it will be a man-on-man defense structure for the game. And for New Zealand, it will be more of a space defense, dropping into the space, reading the game and going for intercepts on that way. So Australia is more tiring out your opponent, hoping they will crack maybe in the 3rd, 4th quarter. New Zealand is setting up intercepts, working together as a defense unit to actually take the intercepts and turn the balls. Compared to South Africa, we're more towards the Australian way. We also, obviously, we have our own style. So we're in between the two. We can mix it up a little bit. And I think that's what makes our team strong and actually give us a chance to go for a podium place.
Indeed, it does make our team strong, and we look at our ranking in terms of the world standings, and we're ranked currently 5th in the world. What would you say it is about the teams that we find in the top 4 that gives them the edge currently against the South African side?
I think at this stage, a lot of those teams, they have players that play in England or in Australia or in New Zealand. So I think that gives them a little bit of edge. They get quality, high intensity game time right through the year. So I think at this stage that maybe in the previous years give them an edge, but we have really worked hard with Norma Plummer straight through this year with training camps that, yeah, and usually it's not like that. We will maybe get together a month before a tournament. This time we worked straight through from last year until now to actually be prepared and take the top 4 teams on and give them a run for their money.
Oh, please do definitely give them a run for their money. Let's talk about the first encounter for South Africa. I mean, you spoke about it's going to be your debut. What are your expectations in terms of the game? And also just talk to us about the pressure that's on your specific shoulders, because, I mean, you are in debut. It is going to be your first time and you come out on this big stage.
Yeah, our first game is against Wales. It's a strong team. We will never underestimate any team. So I think it's a good start for us to take on Wales. For me, there is pressure, obviously, but I know I work hard. And when I work hard and I put in the work, that fear and that little bit of stress just goes away, because I know I've prepared to actually do the task in hand. So there always will be stress, because I think if you stress, it shows that it's important for you. But I think it will be good nerves, because I will be prepared. I am preparing now for long, so yeah, I'm more excited than stressing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And let's talk about how, for the longest time, I think we all know, like, very two dominant nations when it comes to World Netball, Australia as well as New Zealand. Do you see things turning out differently this year, particularly because we are an African soul? There is that home ground advantage. And I mean, I've spoken to a lot of the Proteas players week in and week out, and there really just seems to be that eagerness to just turn things around this time.
Yeah, I really feel that there can be a turnaround. I think there will be a little bit of changes when you look at that top positions. So for us, it really motivates us that it is on home soil. Playing in front of your home crowd, I think nothing beats that. Representing your country in a World Cup is already huge. So just playing on home soil, just level up that excitement and that honor actually to represent your country. So that will definitely make a difference for us. And we obviously want to make our people proud on home soil. So we will play our best netball, just because of the supporters that is there and supporting us all the way. So hopefully our work will pay off, and there will be actually a huge shift in that top positions this year.
Indeed, and you speak about just the support that you've been receiving, and I think since the announcement of the World Cup, we've seen a pickup in terms of people being interested in netball. I mean, we saw the TNL finals this past weekend at a nicely packed Hartfeld Arena. How are you keeping yourself focused besides all of this noise that's happening around this World Cup, your debut, everyone wanting to see what the Proteas are going to do? Mentally, how are you keeping yourself focused on the task at hand?
Mentally, I'm not a person that really gets motivated with words and stuff like that. I'm a person that gets motivated when I know I've done the work, that I actually will perform because I put the hours in and I actually train. So mentally, for me, I will be there because I know I've put in the work. The crowd, for me, it actually makes it better. I think every netball player, we are used to it by now. And even if they cheer for you, it's just better. Like, you can perform better, that adrenaline is higher. So I think that's actually a positive. If the crowd is bigger, and even more if they're on our side. So I don't think that will be a problem at all for us. That will be actually counting in our advantage.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. Before I let you go, how many people call you Jeanette?
Oh, a lot of people, a lot of people. I actually just respond to anything with a J by now because, I've heard of funny things. So,
Jeanté, thank you so much for your time this morning, and good luck at the World Cup.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so that is Jeanté Strydom. She is a Proteas player, and she has made that final 12 that get to represent South Africa at the Netball World Cup, which gets underway in Cape Town in just 21 days' time.